Boy, I wish I would have prepped for this.
Who wants to go first? Should we flip a coin? Hi, Paul.
Conan,
Nice to see you.
you too. So what inspires you about Michigan Saves?
I think when I first started talking with people about the idea of Michigan Saves, the fact that there were so many people who wanted to participate in the climate change fight but didn't have a tangible tool to do that meant a lot to me. And then the ability of them to use energy efficiency in their own homes, to make themselves more comfortable, to reduce their costs, while having this environmental win was just great. They're really like, how can we help you with where you live? And by the way, this is going to be better for everybody. And I really like that. What is a story of someone that Michigan Saves helped that has stuck with you?
I think I have to say that I had actually had a client one time call me and ask about Michigan Saves, and they had just bought their first home ever, and that they were looking to, do the replacement of their furnace and some other work on their house as well, and so it was a huge part of their decision to buy a new home and to be able to kind of make it comfortable for their family going forward. What was Michigan Saves like when you first took on the role of board chair, and what does it look like now?
Well, we were small. When I first took on the board chair, Michigan Saves had just started up. We hadn't really anchored the Better Buildings grant yet, so we were still figuring out the financing mechanics, and we didn't have a ton of money. So we had people like me and Jacob, these left-wing environmentalists, sitting alongside DTE and consumers. And we weren't sure about each other, but we pretty quickly came together as a unit, found our common ground around energy efficiency and helping homeowners. And from there on, it just sort of it went smooth.
Mary and the team have always done such an amazing job, and I agree with you. I was always impressed by the composition of the board, having so many folks from industry and other spaces. I think now the movement towards equity is a really important step for the board, as it makes a bigger commitment to DEI and so forth. So I think it's an exciting time for the board as well, and we see the board becoming more diverse over time, and at the same time taking on issues of equity and income equality as well.
My favorite board moment was when you took over, because then I didn't have to do anything. No, because remember at this retreat, we were just talking about sort of the same old mechanics of Michigan Saves and doing good work and doing it a little bit better. And you posed this question: what if we wanted to do $1 billion of loans? And I stuck my pinky in my mouth, as is appropriate for that number, but it was inspirational. Just right from that moment, you challenged us as a board and the Michigan Saves team as a team to think beyond where we were ever thinking before.
I think sometimes when big questions come up and we have the utilities sitting there that are able to speak to some of these issues with so much authority, and we have lenders at the table and we have contractors at the table, and the board composition, just really allowing us to dig in really deep and meaningful ways on some really substantive questions to be able to move the work forward. And the staff, of course, takes a lot of these insights and acts on them, and they become real. So it's pretty impressive.
All right, so if Michigan Saves were a food, what would it be and why?
I'm feeling very, just thinking of things like, a nice clean whole fish.
I think that's right. It's a nice, clean, whole fish. It's fresh. It's, simple, but, subtle and wonderful.
All right, well, maybe we'll follow that one up with the next similar question, which is, if Michigan Saves was an animal, what would it be and why?
Maybe it's like a pet, like a, fuzzy cat or a dog that greets you at the door. It's like, hey, I'm here to make your life happier, better, more comfortable. And you really don't want to live without me. What does a world without Michigan Saves look like?
I think the ability for families who may not know, I think as you mentioned earlier, may not know how to participate in climate change. They want to see change in the world. They want to see things go forward. They want their homes to improve. They want to do the right thing, a smart thing, and be part of the solution. What is your aspiration for the future of Michigan Saves?
10 years on the board, and I've seen us come a long, long way. as a team. I really appreciate that vision that you have given us for the current iteration of the organization, that we're going to be bigger and more impactful, that we're going to focus our resources on equitably helping the people of Michigan. That is a heavy and big lift. Honestly, Paul, I think you set the aspiration for us from your leadership role right now. And we've got that for the next decade.
For me, I think the board having a focus and the organization having a focus on equity to try and help more and more people that otherwise wouldn't be participating in maybe in the same way for climate change or at the same way in energy efficiency at all. So I think to your point, having continuing to add more diverse voices on the board, working with more contractors of color, serving more homeowners of color at different socioeconomic levels, and having different financing solutions for different people who are able to participate. So I'm hoping over the next decade we're able to really dig into that space and change who takes advantage of energy efficiency. Should we pop the champagne?
To 10 years.
Do we want it to pop or no?
Oh, do you want it to pop? It's popping.
All right, we popped it.
Cheers to 10 years. I love it. Such a good set of aspirations. Thank you.
Thank you.